here's the reality. 2025 is going to be different. Where the economy is, y'all are going to need to be really savvy with how you earn your income, with how you protect your wealth to really build the abundant life that you're looking for. So my goal and my commitment to you is to continue to arm you with that information. So not as financial advice ever, but so that you can make the best decisions for yourself and your family. With the economy and AI, many of us are going to be required to rethink what the traditional career looks like, what retirement looks like. I think it's a great opportunity for those of us who are eager to see what's on the horizon and prepare ourselves and adjust ourselves accordingly.
Welcome to the Secrets to Abundant Living podcast. Your guide on this journey is Amy Sylvis. If you're ready for the secrets to an abundant life, hit that subscribe button now, and let's get started.
Secrets to Abundant Living podcast community. Hello. I feel like I haven't talked to you all in such a while. This is Amy Sylvis, your host. I'm delighted to welcome you to our 1-year anniversary episode. I cannot believe it. I truly, truly cannot believe it. It has been a year since we have been together, and wow, just doing a lot of reflection on what this past year has been like, and hope to bring you along with me. I'm going to be real with you. It's been a day. It's been a little bit of a hectic day. So I'm just centering myself in the gratitude that I have of this podcast and reflecting on what a big deal it was to get this started and what prompted me to want to start this podcast in the first place, which was there's just so much busyness in life, myself included. And I just felt like there was a lot to share in terms of the good in this world, the abundance, as it were, not to be too cliche. The first thing I can think of is how insanely nervous I was on the first few episodes of this podcast. It's one thing to get up in front of a live group of people. It's another thing to post on social media and be vulnerable in that way. And it's a whole other thing to put out not just written content, but video content out consistently, to come up with something to say, to wonder if what you have to say is relevant or impactful, and to see if there will be guests who are interested in sharing the vision and continuing to encourage, inspire, and bring new ideas to the audience. And it was a leap of faith, just like my real estate business, just like my health journey. Sometimes we have to just take the vision and take the ball and run with it. And that's definitely what I felt like I've done over this past year. We are a growing podcast, which is incredibly meaningful to me. I could not have done this without you all sharing with your friends and family and people that you thought would benefit from this. But I'm not going to lie, I've gotten quite a bit of benefit myself in terms of meeting incredible people, having the ability to document meaningful conversations with people that I know and even those that I don't know. But ultimately, I really hope that you walk away from each and every episode feeling encouraged or feeling that you've learned something, or that your life will be even just slightly on a better path because you listen to the guests that we have or the information that I've been able to share with you. I was blown away by a conversation I actually saw on LinkedIn this morning that I want to share with you all. If you don't follow me on LinkedIn, I recommend you do. There's so much goodness that goes on that platform, but I've been sharing a countdown of the top 10 most popular episodes of the Secrets to Abundant Living podcast. And I started off by just saying, hey, it's a countdown to our 1-year anniversary. And what came from that was kind of cool. I'm going to share my screen for those of you who aren't on video. That's okay. I'll describe it to you. But here is the post, just talking about the fact that I wanted to hear which episode has most impacted people, taught you the most, gave you a new perspective, made you take action. And what was so neat is one of our guests, Teresa, actually took the time to comment, which is so neat because she was an incredible guest. If you haven't listened to her episode, I can't encourage you enough to listen to it. But to see one of my guests who made such a tremendous impact by being on the podcast talk about other guests on the podcast, it's just really special. So essentially, she said, congrats on 1 year, Amy. So many great episodes. 2 of my favorite guests were Emily Kramer-Gollenkoff and Bob Berg. I've learned so much from you and your guests in this last year. Thank you. That in and of itself is so meaningful, especially coming from a woman that I admire and have so much respect for. But how cool that one of our guests really enjoyed episodes of other guests. It's really hard for me to wrap my head around. Because again, just as I'm doing right now, recording this, I'm just kind of trusting that my voice and my thoughts kind of reach where they need to go, right? You never know who's going to listen, who's going to receive what you have to say. And all of this has been a really big leap of faith, which is big because I'm I'm very analytical. I'm very thoughtful. I plan. I don't usually take steps without knowing, where the road will meet my foot. But this podcast has been a massive experiment in just what if I put something out there, I wonder what will happen. And the fact that Teresa took the time to talk about some other incredible guests just meant a lot. And so I'm going to give it a like. I don't know how I didn't have a like, but I thanked her for sharing her tremendous story. And obviously got really excited about the fact that she loved Bob and Emily's episode. And then Bob chimed in. Bob Berg, the author of The Go-Giver, this book that's made such a difference in my life and other people's life, he chimed in and said, wow, thank you, Teresa. Honored to know that. And how cool to be mentioned in the same comment as Amy and Emily. He's a class act, right? I mean, Bob makes everyone feel like they're the most important people, and not in a fake way, in a genuine way. His care and desire to give to others is so strong. He wrote a book about it. If you haven't listened to that episode, make sure to go back and listen to it. And the conversation ensued. Teresa replied, Bob, grateful to be introduced to The Go-Giver by Amy and grateful for your work. And Bob replied, thank you. How very kind of you. And then Emily Kramer-Gollenkoff, this powerhouse of a woman that started a nonprofit to find treatments for the last 10% of people with cystic fibrosis, chimes in and says, you have no idea how much this means coming from you all specifically. Grateful and honored beyond belief to be among such stellar people. And then Bob replies with a bunch of hearts. I just, truly, this conversation to me that just happened today represents this last year of this podcast. Just this privilege of being able to tell people stories and provide information and really just be of service. I feel like I'm saying all the cliches and all the corny things, but it's really mind-blowing. The fact that maybe in my little corner here of the Secrets to Abundant Living podcast that I've been able to have a little glimmer of an impact. That's really special. It's we talk about this all the time. Money is necessary and money can be very helpful, but it's what it allows us to do. The impact, the freedom, the control of who we're around, being able to live out our values. And hey, I'm not going to lie, this podcast is an investment. It takes money to produce this, to publish it. It takes time. And, if you were to look at this podcast from a monetary standpoint, there isn't an ROI for me in the money terms, but in the abundance terms that we talk about, this podcast lives out what we talk about. Because I know that Teresa listened to this podcast when she was going through something, and then she learned something from Bob. And then there's Emily, who's inspires the heck out of all of us, and her ability to persevere and take research and life into her own hands. Anyway, this feels like a little bit of a contemplating my navel episode, but I'm always going to be real with you all. I'm just so grateful you all have been around for the journey. And hey, season 2 is coming up. We are launching season 2, and we have so much more greatness in store for you. I do want to encourage you all. If you joined us, we've grown. So if you haven't been able to listen to the very first parts of the podcast, the earlier guests or the earlier solo episodes, please go back and listen or re-listen. I found myself re-listening to several of the guests just because I wanted to make sure what they taught us, their impact, their ideas are still sticking with me. But here's where your part comes in. As we embark on season 2, I want to hear from you. I'm actually going to put a link in the episode description for you to give us feedback on what you want to hear more about. Do you want a certain type of guest to be on more often? Do you want another guest to come back and talk about something else? What part of this financial part of abundance do you want to hear more about? Is there a topic? Is there something that, has been on your mind that you think we can address and have a conversation about? I really want this to be of service and to be something exciting for you. So, we've had a wide variety of guests, right? We've had folks with health challenges. We've had authors. We've had investment people. We've had lifestyle design folks. We had a former USC quarterback. I still can't believe it. Max Brown on just last week. We had a track star, Olympian, world record holder. Yeah, let me know. Please exercise this opportunity to give us feedback. We've got lots of great content planned, but I want to make sure we're showing up in a way that's useful to you all in the second season. So I would also love to hear in the comments if you could add to what Teresa's feedback was. I'd love to know which episode taught you the most. Whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or even on my LinkedIn, let me know. I'm really, really curious which episode impacted you the most or gave you a new perspective or caused you to take action. It's, as you can imagine, right? Imagine being a podcast host where the dialogue is just one way. The more we hear from folks, the more encouraging it is and helpful. Have you ever thought about having multiple streams of income? Instead of relying on just one stream of income where you're trading your time for money, how would you like to free up more of your time and live a more abundant life? As a listener of the show, you're invited to attend one of our upcoming trainings where I'll give you an inside look into how you can add passive income and get all the other perks of recession-resistant real estate investing without the headaches of being a landlord. We'll also be sharing some hidden mistakes to avoid and the criteria I personally look for when evaluating potential investment opportunities. To reserve your seat for free, go to sylviscapital.com/webinar. Again, that special link to reserve your seat for free is sylviscapital.com/webinar. I look forward to seeing you on the training. And now back to the show. So we are halfway through February already when this podcast will launch, and beginning season 2 shortly after. We've got a whole host of amazing folks to talk about abundance, teach us more. And I've also got some content in terms of financial abundance to continue to teach you all about, because here's the reality. 2025 is going to be different in a lot of ways, and not a political statement. It's just where the economy is. Y'all are going to need to be really savvy with how you earn your income, with how you protect your wealth, with how you build your legacy, with how you are able to control your time to really build the life, the abundant life that you're looking for. So my goal and my commitment to you is to continue to arm you with that information. So not as financial advice ever, but so that you can make the best decisions for yourself and your family. And it may require some growth. It may require some getting out of your comfort zone. It may require you pivoting a bit. I really do think with the economy and AI and several other layers of changes coming, many of us are going to be required to rethink what the traditional career looks like, what retirement looks like, and not in a scary way. I think it's a great opportunity for those of us who are eager to see what's on the horizon and prepare ourselves and adjust ourselves accordingly. So there's a little preview for you, but truly from the bottom of my heart, Thank you. I'm so grateful for this community that we've built. I'm grateful for the message. I'm grateful for all of you who have rated and reviewed and shared. This is a labor of love. This is something that's, I do because it's an amazing way to give back. And of course, it's as the world goes, it gives back to me as well. So really grateful and encouraged for your feedback and excited to take it to an even better level in 2025 and beyond, because I'm less nervous. I feel less less anxious and vulnerable. Vulnerable is not a bad thing, and neither is anxiety, but using all of that as we launch season 2 of this thing. So get ready. Make sure to keep sharing, please. Would love to continue to grow this message. And please provide your feedback. It's really meaningful. And you'll see, we will take that feedback and implement it so that we continue to provide value. You all are the best. Wishing you a great mid-February, great rest of your week. And we'll be launching season 2 here shortly. All right, everyone. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Secrets to Abundant Living podcast. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights that will empower you on your journey towards abundance. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback means the world to us, and it helps others discover the secrets to an abundant life too. Stay connected with us on LinkedIn, Amy Sylvis. Keep striving for your goals, nurturing your relationships, and embracing the adventure that is life. Until next time, we wish you an abundantly fulfilling day.